Hi friends! Is anyone else like me and loves planners? You buy tons of them, fill them out for 1 month, and then forget about them? I really want to be one of those super organized planner heaven ladies, so I'm hoping that if I decorate it in a super fun design, I'll be more likely to use it. Here's the planner that I'm using. It's a teacher planner, because I'm a teacher, and I have used it a little bit, but I never took these stickers off. When you don't have a tool, just grab the nearest sharp thing you can find. After about 80 years of scraping, I finally got these stickers off. And now I'm going to rough up the surface a little bit so that paint will stick to it better. And since I also don't have sandpaper, I grabbed a cheap nail file to scratch it up. They're the same thing, right? This took a long time, but it did actually work. After that, I used gesso to prep the surface and help the paint stick better. I did a couple of coats so that the paint would be really bright and pop. I pre-sketched out my design on a piece of paper and used some transfer paper to trace it onto the cover. I used the same design on the front and the back. I'm doing a sort of fruit and dessert theme mashup. I don't actually eat most of these things, but I think they look really cute mixed together. Why don't I eat them? I like fruit smoothies, and I like fruit pie, but I'm not that into fresh fruit. And I do like desserts like cookies and brownies, but I'm not really into anything with frosting like cupcakes. Here I'm filling in some empty spaces and extending the designs on both edges so that it fills the entire cover. I'm using paint markers for this because I think it's probably a lot easier than painting with a brush. Now I'm going color by color, blocking in larger areas because I know they'll take multiple coats. I planned out my color choices ahead of time on a separate sheet of paper. I started with the lightest color so that it would be easier to cover up any mistakes that I made later. I'm using mostly Posca paint markers, and generally they cover really well, but some colors like this tan that I'm using for the ice cream cones and donuts are a bit streaky. That's supposed to be pumpkin pie. There's quite a few swirly objects in this design that I put where I needed to fill space. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but we'll just call them candy. That weird light colored orange thing, that's supposed to be ice cream. But this pink spot that's the exact same shape, well, that's cotton candy. Oops, my cheat sheet snuck in. There's another swirly thing. Because Poscas are kind of limited in their color selection, I did have to use a few other markers here and there, but they just don't seem to work as well. This brand that I got from Target don't seem to have the best coverage, and they also have a glossy finish, where Poscas are matte. I don't even know what that is. Are you a candy cane? You seem really big. That green thing right there, that's a lime. Here's a giant watermelon. About here is where it really started to come together. It looks like the colorful mix that I imagined. Candy or cake roll? That's a popsicle. Now I'm going in and adding the little details that will really make these stand out. I'm also hoping that this will help clear up what each item is. In the middle of detailing this pineapple, I decided I didn't like the colors and changed them. These grapes I really didn't like at first, but after the details, they actually turned out okay. That's an aggressively dark orange. That's still a lime. This is a crooked cupcake. I thought the sprinkles would help, but they didn't really work. Wait, that's a tomato. How'd that get in there? That's supposed to be a snow cone. Does it look like a snow cone? This is a strawberry with watermelon seeds. That's still supposed to be a popsicle. That's a blueberry. This was supposed to be one of those long donuts with frosting, but it kind of looks like a hot dog. That's another popsicle, this time with sprinkles. Does this look more like pumpkin pie? No. These are cherries. We're back to this weird orange blob. It's supposed to be ice cream, but it kind of looks like popcorn. This is also a popsicle. Now I'm outlining around each item with a black fine tip marker to help them stand out. This took a really long time because my markers kept running out, so I had to keep switching between black paint pens, black fine liners, and black felt tip pens. Once that was finally done, I was worried I was going to scratch it, so I knew I needed to seal it somehow. I didn't think that varnish would hold up because the cover has a little bit of a bend to it, and so I was afraid that the varnish and paint would crack. Instead, I used clear packing tape and wrapped it around the edges. I think this planner looks amazing. It's so bright and colorful. Look at all the cute little foods. I love it so much, and I can't wait to show it off. If you've ever decorated your planner, tell me about it. Send me a picture. I would love to look at them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.